Elliot Kay here, one of the co-founders of the Speaker Awards. For those of you who don't know me, we are gonna have a little bit of interview here with Joe from Shatter Media. But if you've met me, hello. If you haven't, I am the co-founder of the Speaker Awards. I came up with a vision for the Speaker Awards to create a platform to elevate speakers, to really pull back the curtain and to help speakers on their journey, to have the light shone on them, to be appreciated for what they do. So as a result of that, we set up the Speaker Awards, and this year we've rebranded our day event as the Speaker Summit. And we're lucky enough to have amazing partners and sponsors like Shatter Media, who are coming on board because I'm going to find out why they came on board in a minute. But we are so happy to have sponsors and partners that help elevate speakers. Now, something I don't do anything around this area is how to utilize video in terms of I use it, but I don't understand how to use it. No, I do understand how to use it. That's not true. What I don't understand is editing and filming and angles. And, if Shatter Media can make me look good, then there's hope for everybody. First things first, Joe, welcome. Do you want to tell people who never met you before about you and Shatter Media?
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure. Yeah, my name's Joe Hickey and I run Shatter Media. And you kind of summed us up in a nutshell there. We produce video content for all kinds of businesses, but we have a sort of real focus, especially in the past year or so, towards personal brands, which obviously speakers falls into speakers, consultants, anyone who really needs to sort of grow their own visibility. And we do, even with some of the corporates, we try and lean them towards a bit of a hybrid as well, just purely because the power of a personal brand can be so much stronger, quicker to build, um, and easier to build than a business brand. And it's all about building relationships.
Yeah, and in this day and age as well, there's an expectancy to see the face, to hear the voice, to get a feeling. It's no longer, I don't think it makes it a lot harder if you're hiding behind a corporate brand. And I guess there's a break of trust there. People find it harder to trust you. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, there is no better way to build trust and a relationship with your audience than through video. Like you say, they get to see you, they get to have things like the eye contact, and that it's a very it still can be a very human to human thing, and people buy from people. So when they get to know you and your energy and your ethos and everything that you're about, especially if they've got things that they can feel connected with you and relatable with, then you can't really do that through text. It's really difficult to do that through imagery. The only way to really beat video is to be face to face.
Yeah, brilliant. And what are big mistakes you find speakers make when they do use video? What are some of the things you kind of like, cringe, no, stop, don't,
I don't like to say mistakes because I think it ultimately you don't
But
know what
but
you
there
don't
are
know.
things that are mistakes. Like if I did this and I had underwear in the background, I mean that's a mistake. That's not a learning experience. That's an outright sloppy mistake. So whatever terminology you want to give it, what are some of the things you notice
I think
speakers don't
for
do
me the
well?
biggest thing I've realized, the biggest pattern I've realized is especially for speakers, um, because speakers are very used to or getting used to standing on a stage in front of 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000 people. And I've had speakers come up to me before and say, I can stand on stage in front of 10,000 people, not nervous, don't break a sweat, absolutely fine. I stand in a room with you and your camera and I fall apart. So
Uh-huh.
the mistake I feel is that there is speakers that think that because I can stand on a stage in front of people, I can stand in front of a camera and speak without practice. And it is still something that you have to get the reps and you have to get the practice. It's very different. It's very, it can quickly become uncomfortable again. And I think, or I believe the reason why is generally if you're on stage and you're in front of an audience, if you're trying to be funny and you see people smiling, giggling, and laughing, you know you're on the right tracks. If you're trying to be insightful and people are nodding along, making notes, you're on the right tracks. If people are nodding off, you know you need to pick the energy up and sort of get them re-engaged. On video in front of a camera, you have no visual cues, you have no audio cues to so it's very easy to go into an overthinking process of have I said the right thing? Have I said it in the right way? How's my body language? How's my facial expressions? Is the content right? Is it valuable? Did I forget anything? Before you know it, you're completely off track. So it can really throw people. So again, I suppose it's the same as public speaking in the sense of get the practice in, get used to talking to a lens and not a face.
Mm.
can become a very difficult. It's a very surreal situation to put yourself in if you haven't done it before.
Yeah, I remember when I was learning camera techniques, I went from stage, kind of like the big ah. I remember the guy sitting down going, camera's a conversation. You're not on stage. You don't need that
Mm,
big energy. You can be big and energetic on camera, but you're not on stage. And I think that was the best part of a decade, and that changed my whole approach. He kind of said it's more conversational, be more intimate.
mm.
So, and I guess you'll be covering some of these kind of like how to maximize, how to utilize media or video better when we do the Ask the Expert sessions. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll be covering a few topics. I think we're still sort of finalizing exactly what, but generally it'll be talking about video content, how you can utilize video content, how you can create video content easy as opposed because I think some people overcomplicate it and first the route everybody goes down usually is, oh, I've got to script something out. Personally, I'm not a fan of scripts. I
Me
don't
neither.
like getting people to script, and often I've really pushed people away from scripting just purely because, and again, as a speaker, you guys will probably know that you speak very differently to what you write. You use different vocabulary, your grammar is very different. So when it comes to actually speaking it out loud, which again, a lot of people just don't do that bit, they don't write it and then talk it out loud before they get in front of the camera. And that's when you waste a lot of time going, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't feel okay. I need to rewrite that bit. And
Mm,
you waste a lot of time. So, and that can really put a negative impact on the whole process. So we'll go through different tips and techniques and stuff that you can do with video, how you can properly utilize it. There's three core messaging sort of pillars, if you want to call them. I like to call them stages because I compare it to a rocket launch that we go through with all of our messaging, which is visibility, authority, and conversion. And I feel they have to happen in that order, which is why I like to call them stages. Is
mm.
I compare them to and I think it's I'm a bit of a space nerd, and Elon's sending rockets up every other day at the minute, so it's easy to compare it to a rocket launch. But I imagine visibility is kind of like your small side boosters. They get you off the ground, they get you seen, they get you moving, start you on, give you some momentum. Eventually, that can only do so much before you need to do the next thing. So they'll break away, and then you have the next sort of heavy booster engage to get you up to the stratosphere, the next bit, which if you're a space nerd, there's something called max Q, which is the maximum pressure that's put on the craft. Which, if you're the craft, that's where the most pressure is going to be put on. That is your area of authority. That's where you've got to show that you know what you're on about, your expertise, educate people, be able to offer value. So you need to be able to produce content and stuff around that, which generally tends to be longer form content than the shorter stuff. And then once you've done that, that's where you've building that trust with people. And
Mm.
once you've got that trust with people, then you can push them on to the next section. So when that payload's now gone, you've now got the shuttle now is now in space or the capsule or whatever you want to call it. Funny enough, it's called the payload. Well, conversion content would come in. So conversion content would usually be anything that's within a sales funnel, behind a paywall, online courses, webinars, thank you videos, nurture videos, sequences, all that sort of stuff. Which again, we'll go through a lot of that stuff probably on the day as well. We'll try and cram it into the time we've got anyway.
But it's 10 minutes. It's three slots of 10 minutes.
We'll
So
dumb it down.
I hope you can speak quick. So so why did you get involved with Speaker Awards and the Speaker Summit? Of course, if anybody wants to, come meet Joe and all the other sponsors and stuff, make sure you get your ticket. But you're busy. You got stuff going on. What was it about the summit and awards that appealed to you?
Well, I think sort of last year, I was still we were still sort of defining and refining what we do and who we offer it to. So we went through a good 4, 5, 6 months of actually sort of trying to figure out who we really offer value to. And I was having a lot of internal conflict because I like to do a bit of coaching on camera as well. So again, that's why I lean towards personal brands because then I feel like I can offer more value in that sort of situation rather than just turn up and hit record. Um, and one of the things we did towards the end of the year and start of the year was realize that our little niche in the market is those personal brands, and that's really who we want to be our core market. So then I started to look back at who are the sort of people I've worked with over the years, realizing there was a pattern emerging that actually most of the people I've worked with over the past few years have been business coaches who generally also tend to be public speakers, um, expert speakers, and that sort of thing. So we're like, okay, well, we're onto something here now. What do they do, or what don't they do that we can really now help with? And we started to redefine the product around um, helping them gain that visibility and that authority, and then the conversion pieces, because they can be great at being on stage and talking. Sometimes they're not very good at translating that into a digital space, or being able to know what to do. A lot of people now will record those sort of things, but not really know what are they looking for from those recordings, because no one watches the full recordings anymore, or very few people do. I know you've got a lot of speakers in the TEDx space, some very quality speakers. That's a different ball game. That's a different league. People do go on and watch the full talks there, but generally when you're attracting new audiences, they want the shorter stuff. We've got shorter attention spans. They want the scrollable things, but knowing what to look for can be a bit of a minefield if you've not really done it before. So again, it's sort of, we come in there and help that out. So when we heard about the Speakers Awards, and when we spoke to you guys and seeing what you do, and it was really nice actually to speak to you guys and see the genuine passion you have for the people there. Not
Mm,
just, I'm going to put on an event and then look, we can say we put on a great event. It's like you actually care about the people who are coming. You put a lot of time and thought and effort into everything that you're looking to achieve. And a lot of my message and a lot of what I talk about is value first. And I think
mm,
you guys seem to share that same ethos. So
yeah.
for me, it was a no-brainer to sort of say, okay, well, what can we do? How can we be involved? How can we help? So absolutely overjoyed to be able to sponsor an award.
Amazing. Brilliant. Yeah. And you're actually sponsoring the show reel category. So you actually have your name. I've seen it. It's on the trophy.
I'm definitely getting some images and some video of that. That's for our own PR as
Absolutely.
well.
So you're going to be there during the day and in the evening. So there's going to be four of you throughout. So that should be. Are you rotating? Is there like a rota? You do the day, you do the evening, or is it like you're going to sit back and boss everyone
we,
around?
we we have our defined roles. As much as I'd like to rotate and have a bit more fun and networking, I'll be boots on the ground with a camera. I'll have another chap with me who also will be with a camera as well, so we can cover enough bases. And then we'll have Nathan Nicholson with us as
Yeah,
well, and Adam Bonner. Their jobs essentially will be to answer questions, be there to network, meet people, and just sort of generally see how we can help people, but also for us just to grow our network as well.
brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So listen, anybody watching this, if you want to come and meet Joe and our very own other partners, we've got loads of sponsors as well. We've got client funnels, we've got other people involved as well. So everybody complements each other. The good news is there's only one of each in the room, and of course, there's only one media partner, and that's you. And I know that some already turned to you for the application process. So you edited some videos there. So that's good news all round to hear that already people are turning. But if people want to reach out to you, they can't wait till the awards or the summit. Where do they go, Joe? Where do they go to find out more about you?
I think, well, obviously the website's the easy one. You can pop to there. It needs a bit of updating, but it will do for now, which is www.shattermedia.co.uk. Generally, the best place to reach me is probably LinkedIn. So I think I'm in there as Joe Hickey Official. I like to put official on the end because then it makes me feel bigger than I am.
Is there another Joe Hickey unofficially?
I think there's a doctor somewhere. I did a bit of Googling
Ah,
once. There is a doctor.
okay, fair enough. So go to Joe Hickey official, then you'll know you've landed on the right.
If you got Dr. Joe Hickey, it's the wrong one.
You might get a different type of video, or who knows? Anyway, we're speculating right now. Joe, thank you so much for taking time out from your day to do this. We're going to get this published and out to everybody, and I look forward to seeing you. Well, less than 4 weeks, and being in the room with you and seeing you work your magic. So thanks again for being involved in the Speaker Summit and the Speaker Awards, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you
See
very
you later.
much. Thank you.